So here's another case study video, which is we help Quaz generate a million in ARR using paid ads in 12 months. And here's the testimonial for you. Ben, who was the founder of Quartz, is now a chairman because Quartz got acquired. And he says that Manav is dollar for dollar the best investment you can make for your top of funnel. Lean and intelligent in the way he works in, figures out the most efficient ways to crack your pipeline generation. You can read the entire testimonial on my website. And along with bringing a million in ARR, we also got them their dream accounts, which probably would be your dream accounts as well. And honestly, they're mine too. And here's the proof behind it. So, Paul was one of their AEs who was giving a weekly update in our Slack channel with them. So, here you can see US Bank, Bank of America, Citi, Hub, Transamerica, Wells, Prudential. And this is the kind of pipeline that most B2B SaaS founders spend years trying to crack using outbound and referrals. And it takes years because of the sales cycle as well to crack these many accounts. But we did this in 12 months. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what we built for them: the ads, the landing pages, the qualification system, the back-end selling system, and how the whole thing came together. So let's just get into it. So here are some of the ads that we ran for Quads. So each ad was targeting a different pain point, which came from our research, right? And our research also involved us cold calling these compliance leaders, which was their ICP. And we used to chat with them, used to ask questions, gather as much data as we can by having conversations. And we found out that one of their biggest pain points is staying away from SEC scrutiny. Not getting fined by the SEC. So for the hook to get attention, we took a Star Wars theme and made this ad a little fun by saying that by the time you finish this sentence, our message archiving solution will save you from an SEC fine. And because of this, the ad performed really well because directly targeted one of their biggest pain points that they had. Then here's the second ad which we used to retarget because this was the top of funnel ad, and once there were some people who just didn't book a call, right? This will always happen. So we used to retarget them by sending a normal ad which talks about the product, which gives a CTA to just get them to take an action. And here's one of the angles that worked really well, which was also that these compliance leaders, after having a conversation with them, we found out that they're actively talking with each other, with their partners, with other compliance leaders in other companies. And they were all trying to figure out a way to get rid of SEC scrutiny by any chance. And this is where this ad helped us because we literally just said that you are not compliant but your competitors are. And this is what you're going to know after you click on this ad. So that was the entire CTA. They clicked on the ad, the landing page talked about everything. The landing page was the solution to that given pain. And I will also share the landing pages with you. But before I do all that, I just want to let you know that this is literally just 10% of the build because it took more than 20 times the amount of ads. It even included video ads. But I'm just sharing the ones that did really, really well for us. We did a lot of experimentation and we failed a lot. But this is that 10% that outperformed everyone else and produced like 90% of the results. And along with that, we also had a qualification system built out to only let qualified buyers book a call. So this included people who have the need to get into this and to buy our solution, then people who have the budget, then people who have the decision making power before they even try to book a call. We don't want associates or interns to book a call and increase our sales cycle and waste our times. We just want to get directly to the decision maker. And then there was a back-end selling system, which I'm also going to talk about later, which increased our close rates and reduced our sales cycle by 30%. This is why we got so many dream accounts in like a year. So here are some of the landing pages. The first landing page is in dark mode, and once they click on the ad, they know that this is an AI compliance associate. That is what we framed it as, but it really wasn't because AI agents are not that great when it comes to actually delivering the solution. This was still a software, but we marketed it as this because this was just super hot at that time. And technically, it kind of looked like an AI agent because you're tagging someone and they're just taking care of it. That software is just taking care of it in iMessage. And this was the landing page. It explained everything with icons, images. We had to design everything from scratch. These are not just screenshots. We had to design these on Figma and comparing them against competitors. Then adding some credibility, then adding some FAQs, which also came from our research with them, and then a good old call to action along with the footer, book a demo CTA, then this is the page that they would get. Again, this is just version 2 of the landing page in white background, but yeah, it did had a couple of changes that we made. I'm not going to go too deep into this. This is just to show you that yeah, we did the work for them. And just like any other client of ours, it does need some refinements and adjustments before we find the winning angle. So now that I've showed you some of our work, I'm going to tell you how we built the entire system from scratch, the entire process. So the way we started this deal with Quartz was we would help them get to 30 demos every week by the end of 60 days using paid ads. We will audit their current funnel. We will replace their sales motion with a high ACV offer supported by concierge onboarding that we will help them build, and then running a self qualifying nurturing funnel with the help of a backend selling system. The goal was simple, which was that we would just get them to speak with highly qualified prospects, and the backend selling system will reduce their sales cycle and increase their close rates. And if we didn't deliver them the results within 60 days, then we'll just continue working with them for the next 60 days at no cost at all. And if we still fail to generate any results, then we will just refund every dollar that they paid us. So just to maintain transparency and tell you what how the entire deal started, I thought I would let you know. And in case you're interested, then you can just book a call at itsgrowable.com. You can just search that online or just click in my profile. There's a link in my profile. Just go there. So now the real reason that most ads fail for most B2B SaaS founders is that they run ads straight to a free trial or a demo call. And that's the entire problem. And I'll tell you why. So let's first do the math, right? So let's just say that you have a $100 SaaS plan and you're paying $100 for a lead. And let's just say that 33% of them are subscribing, which is us being super generous. Your customer acquisition cost is going to be at $300, and you would think that it's great, right? We're running a great ad funnel. Now, assuming that they were super qualified and they didn't churn, you're going to get to $0 of profit by the end of month 3. And if they churn really early in like the very first month or 2 months, then you're at a $100 loss. Now, I'll tell you why all of this happens, right? This is all coming from our experience, and that is because you don't have a qualification system. Your funnel doesn't bring in upmarket leads and just fills up with three types of prospects: prospects who have no budget to move forward, then there are prospects who have no immediate pain your product solves, and there are prospects who have no decision making power at all. And this is why when you try to scale your ad spend, you're finding more of those unqualified leads. Your customer acquisition cost increases even more, and now your sales team is wasting time handling these low quality leads if you are optimizing for demos. And now let's just say that you get a good lead, right? You're getting good leads from the funnel somehow, then the sales cycle will kill you eventually, because B2B deals just don't close in the very first call in itself. Like sometimes not even the third. And because you're not staying in front of your prospect between calls, between like the first and second call, the second and third call, someone else is staying there, right? Which are probably their internal stakeholders, your competitors, your indirect competitors, like some agency trying to tell that, hey, why are you doing this by yourself? Let us do this for you. And there are multiple narratives going on. You're not having control of the narrative, and this is why your close rates tank. And that's why it suffers, because your product, not because your product isn't good by the way, but just because you go quiet. So here's a step-by-step guide of our entire bulletproof growth funnel built by us. So first, we'll build a high ticket front end offer which will generate 3k to 10k in upfront cash. Then we will run ads, which are videos, images, carousels, and then implementing 72-hour test loops for rapid iteration in order to find the right messaging that I was talking about before, to get to those 10% of ads that are going to generate 90% of the revenue. Building landing pages, high converting ones that speak directly to the pain point that that particular ad was talking about, because we're going to have multiple ads, we need to have multiple landing pages. And then there's a video sales letter on top of every landing page so that it pre-frames them and it tries to sell your unique offer to them before they even try to book a call with you, before they even try to take the action with you. They already know what your product is about. And after they're convinced that they want to take a call with you now, we don't do that right away. We try to qualify them first, and then we nurture them to know if they have the budget, they have the buying power, or and they have the need to ensure only good leads reach your sales calendar. And then we audit the gaps in your sales process. We will pull your last 10 close lost deals, identify exactly where you go quiet between calls, identify what are the objections that your team is not really able to handle very properly, and what are your competitors talking about when it comes to those objections, which is leading to them booking a call with your competitor and eventually moving ahead with them instead. And after gathering all the data with, we build a conversion engine, the back end selling system that I was talking about, where we answer the most common objections, we educate prospects on your software and features, show how you solve this specific problem, and then build trust with testimonials and case studies. Each of these act as a separate piece of content and they get distributed using different content channels like SMS, like email, like a short video retargeting ad on various platforms like Meta, Google, LinkedIn. And we do this from the first call booked. So there's a content strategy for each type of call that we have: call one, call two, call three, the final call that they might have, which I'm going to expand on in a few minutes. So let's start from step one, which is figuring out what you can turn high ticket, right? So most SaaS founders leave a huge amount of money on the table here because they're already doing high value things for their customers, but they're just giving it away for free. You could charge a one-time fee for a lot of things, which is white glove onboarding, custom integration, strategy calls, priority support channel. And you can even bundle all of these into a premium upfront offer where you can even sell this for like 3 to 5k before the subscription even starts. Even 10k if it's pretty comprehensive. And this is what exactly solves the payback period problem, where instead of waiting for like 6 to 8 months to make back your ad spend, only using your monthly recurring revenue, you can make it back from the very first day and just reinvest it back into ad spend to get more prospects down the funnel. And a general rule of thumb is to just price it at 1 to 2 times your expected 12-month lifetime value to ensure that you make back your entire ad spend. And with Quartz, given the size of accounts that they were going after, the deal value was already very high, so we didn't really have to do this for them. But in your case, if you're going for SMBs, then yeah, that's the way to do it. Now here's step two, which is how we ran ads for them, right? So the targeting game, by the way, is mostly over because targeting is super easy and everyone's a media buyer now. Targeting, keywords, bidding strategies, there's no edge there anymore. The edge is in the content, your landing pages, your video sales letter, and what you actually put in front of people. So, again, just to give you a glimpse of how we build the creatives for quads, we went through every sales calls. There were 10 closed won deals, there were 10 closed lost deals, and we pulled out every pain point, every objection, every hesitation that we got from them. And we laid that all out in a sheet, and every problem a prospect mentioned can turn into like 6 to 8 different creative ad angles. Then each angle gets its own ad, and we run everything at the same time with test budget, with a very small budget, so that we can let the market decide which ones are really good, which ones they can really resonate with. And if a given angle is performing really well, then we just double down on it. The ones who are not doing well, we just cut that and move on. Once a given ad angle proves itself, like I said, we also build out videos on it, carousels on it, more images on it, so that we double down on those ads and generate a lot of revenue from that given angle because it's working. It's pretty obvious. We also do this because different people consume ads in a different way. Some might like videos, some might like carousels, and we also cover more leads at the same budget, which on an average saves us like 20% in ad cost from our experience. And like I talked about before with quads, the winning angle was you are not fully compliant, but your competitors are, which was this one. Now let's talk about step three, which is landing pages. So this is one simple rule that we use for every client that we work with, which is a 5 second rule. If any website visitor has to visit this landing page, right, then they need to answer these three questions in 5 seconds, which is what's the offer? How does it fix any of my problems? And why should I even trust you in the first place? And if this doesn't get answered in just one scroll in one fold of the landing page, then they're gone. And we see a huge increase when it comes to customer acquisition costs when this happens. So this is what the page needs, right? It needs a headline that speaks directly to their current pain, a sub-headline that quietly filters out the people you don't want on your calendar. So we are going to actively tell them that, hey, this is not for you. This happens to so that we can actively deter most of our prospects who are unqualified than having a 5 minute VSL that explains the entire offer and your software for those who are interested. And then the exact VSL script gets turned into bullet points, which we add in the landing page because some people just like to skim through before they make a decision. And we also want to make it easy for those guys. Then we also put heavy social proof at the top and in the middle so that cold traffic who doesn't trust you yet knows that this is the proof, and proof does some heavy lifting. CTAs at every fold so that you don't make them hunt for the booking button, right? FAQs at the end that answer every objection that they would have before getting on a call. And if, by the way, if you were thinking that something revolutionary was going to happen when it comes to building landing page, then I'm sorry, because this is exactly what we do. It is a very simple format, and we just customize this format to different types of offers, different types of ad variations, ad angles that we would be running for you. And this is what we built for quads. I already showed you the landing pages as well. Now let's talk about the video sales letter, which is just one part of the landing page. There are four stages in this VSL, and the VSL can go for like 3 minutes to even 7 minutes maximum. In the very first stage, we show them the painful reality that they're going to go for, and we quantify the pain in numbers if it's possible, because that is how most B2B deals are run. You need to quantify the pain and tell them that, hey, if you're using my software, you're going to save this much in cost, or this much in time, this much in effort. And in the second stage, we tell them that, okay, whatever that you're doing right now, these are one of three ways that you're currently operating at right now, and this is why it's not working. So we need to explain the failure, right? We should reveal the flawed mechanisms behind their current problems and why they need this change in the first place. Then the third stage is the mechanism of the solution, which is we tell them that, hey, this is the new way of getting it done, and your product is going to be that fix. Where we're not just talking about the features, we also show them how this is going to solve a specific thing that we just exposed to you. We are going to show the software in action. And the last stage is the call to action button, which is we drive it with a qualified CTA. Again, telling them that these are the type of folks who we seem fit, and these are the type of people who would benefit really well from our software. And this is exactly what we did for quads. And now there's step five, which is the qualification system. So, like I said, not everyone who wants a call gets one. We don't need tire kickers at all to waste our sales team's time. So the qualification system is between the landing page and the booking confirmation page. There's a type form with conditional logic. And because of the conditional logic, once a prospect answers some qualifying questions, we will qualify them before they even get to see the time slot that they can book. And if the answers just don't hit the threshold, then they don't get through. So the way we build the questions is we look at three things. This is the data that we collect before building those questions, those qualifying questions. So what we do is we take your discovery calls that you have with your prospects, that your sales teams have with your prospect, and figure out the needle moving questions that qualify as a given buyer. That is one. Second is the profile of the customers who have closed really easily for you. We will figure that out by taking a look at your CRM. And if we don't have much data, then it's all right. It just reduces our time, or else we'll just cold call them and figure out the way to come up with this. The third is the profile of customers who churned within the first 3 months. These are the type of customers that we don't want at all. And every question is built around this pattern. So multiple choice only so that it's frictionless for them and it's easy for us to score. If someone matches your churn profile, for example, then they won't get a call at all. And if someone matches your best ICP, then they're booked immediately. So here's a quick look at one of the qualification filters. So let's say if I click on the CTA, right? This is what it would show. Here first it's just taking all the info from me, and after taking all the information it will ask the qualifying questions. So first is my company website. So here's another qualifying question. And the third question is a very basic one, which is, are you a B2B or a B2C in the first place? So this might sound like a very stupid question to you guys, but for them, this was required because they were getting, because for some reason they were getting a lot of B2C customers, a lot of B2C prospects in their demo calls. For you, these first layer basic questions won't be required, but we just do what works best for our clients. If I click on B2C, I'll just get kicked out. I don't want to do that now just to show you the entire qualification system. So let me just click on B2B. And now this is another question. This is a smart question because it is figuring out if you're going to be the type of customer who is going to churn or not. So through our research, through our customer support chats that we had, that we got from their team, we found out that people, that industries where they had less than 15,000 people in their total addressable market in like having less than 15,000 decision makers. If they fall into that category, they used to churn in like 2 months. Because this was a cold email software, and you can't really generate good results from cold email if you're just reaching out to less than 15K people. So let's just say if I say that my market is less than 15K people, right? It is also telling me to leave this page, but let's just say that I do it. Then it will tell me that, hey, this is not going to be a fit for you. It is telling me that it doesn't look like the market is big enough to make sense. Would you be open to expanding out to larger markets immediately? So it is saying that, hey, you're not a fit, but if you're willing to expand your TAM, then we would be ready to get you in. Now, let's just say that I'm saying yes, right? That, yeah, I want to expand. Now it's going to qualify me based on the budget that I have. So, because their ICP is small B2B businesses and agencies based in the US, this is the monthly revenue numbers that they have. If it would be less than 15K, they would just kick me out. That is why I'm going to pick option C. And now they're going to ask for my budget, like directly, how much do you want to invest in this? If I click on 10K plus, then they'll just get me in, like they would want me to book a call with them. And if I click 2.5K, then they'll just kick me out. And yeah, that's how the entire qualification system works. So we do this because your sales team only needs to talk to people who are actually pre-qualified. So the sales cycle shrinks and your close rates increase, and churn drops because you're filtering out like bad fit customers before they even enter the pipeline. Your close rates go up because your reps aren't burning time on dead end calls. They are not getting tire kickers on their calls at all. And every qualified lead that converts teaches the ad platform that we will run your ads on, exactly who to find more of. So your customer acquisition cost drops over time. Now let's go to the back end selling system that I was talking about. This is honestly one of the least used things by any performance marketing agencies out there or any performance marketers out there that will work for a SaaS company, because most of them just don't know how to utilize this, or they don't even know that this thing exists. But this gives us a really good edge because it increases our average close rate by 20%. So the mechanism is straightforward, right? Create a custom audience of everyone who's booked a call with you and then serve them a specific bank of video content using exclusion audiences. So each piece is only seen once, then replaced by the next immediately. So before I was talking about the content strategy for each type of call, right? This is what I'm going to expand on, which is call number one. The gap in first call is that they don't know what is going to happen in the call in the first place and what your product is all about. So we're going to make 30 to 50 short form video ads that are going to answer every first and second order question a prospect could have. Like, what does the software do? How does it work? Why does it beat the alternatives, your competitors, and what objections do they have, which we can handle in those video ads? We run like a 1 to 2 minute video ad that tells them exactly what the call covers, who we are, and what they're going to walk away with. So these are the two things that happen in the first before the first call even happens. And this happens during the gap of the call being booked and the first call happening. So let's say if they book a call from like 7 days from now, all of this is going to happen in those 7 days so that we don't lose the control, we don't lose the narrative. We are on top of their minds every day. This increases the show up rate because now they're invested, and it pre qualifies their mindset so that the call starts further along than it would have otherwise. And for call two, the gap in call two is that we need to prove the ROI, the social proof. Now it's all about logic. So they just got off the call, they're evaluating, they're comparing you to two other options that are open. This is where you hit them with ROI content. You give them specific numbers, you show a video where you do that, and talking about the average returns that your system actually brings out. Then doing an insider walkthrough, you show the software solving the exact problem that they mentioned on the call. So there could be multiple problems. You can just preempt those problems and make a video ad. And if they talk about that particular problem in the sales call, it just gets marked. And now they're saying a video ad just after that call that shows the software that you're running and the exact problem that you're solving by running your software in that specific way. And the third part is we build up trust by giving in testimonials and case studies of people who are somewhat like them or exactly like them. It really depends on the case study bank that you have. So 1 to 2 minutes per video, rotate across all three platforms so they see it regardless of where they're scrolling. And the call three gap is just to build trust. Now they know the logic, now they know how your software works, they know everything, but do they trust you yet? That's the only thing that's left now. So we do that by flooding them with social proof all the time. So more case studies, more testimonials, more evidence that other companies in their situation made the decision and it paid off. You can also do some stuff to build up authority. Like if you're featured on a podcast, you can just boost that ad and show it to them. You can show some thought leadership pieces. You can show some lead magnets. You just need to get them inside your funnel so deep in and so stuck that they just can't get out. And because they have to make a decision, they'll just go with you instead of comparing you again with other providers and just going into another sales cycle by booking another call because they didn't have the trust. So what this entire thing does, it removes every remaining reason that makes them not to move forward. Then all the stuff that I just talked about, it also happens in an email and SMS sequence that is being sent out to them at the same time that they're seeing these video ads. So the logic is pretty much the same that we operate on, which is the more surfaces that you appear on, the more your prospect's belief system starts to align with your worldview. And our job is that none of your competitors get any gap that they get to fill. So let's just say email, because it's a surface that lands in the most personal space, right? It is their most personal space, email and SMS. Now you combine it with retargeting ads, you're showing your videos, showing up in search, you have your structured sales follow up process, and you're getting these emails as well. There's just no gap left for your competitor to fill. After all that is done, you're obviously going to lose prospects. You're not going to have a 100% close rate with our system. But what if they ghost you? What if that happens? Then we keep on running the entire backend selling system indefinitely. But the content strategy is different. The format is the same, which is running retargeting ads, SMSs, and emails. But the content strategy is completely different. And in case you are thinking that, okay, this might cost a lot, one thing I can tell you is that this will just cost you an extra $100 a month because this is very cheap. You're only going to have leads in the hundreds range every month who you want to target, and that is why you're not going to pay that much. And again, it costs significantly more to lose that prospect to a competitor who stayed present when you didn't. So these are the two sequences that run in parallel until they close, until they actually book a call with you again and go for the product, or they permanently just opt out. So first we start with a content sequence, and it is value first and it's not salesy at all. We're just trying to bait them in again and provide as much value as we can. So lead magnets, more content about their problem and how we can solve it for them. Some industry insights that could keep them engaged. We need to keep them thinking about the problem and keep our brand attached to the very solution that they want. Then after they've seen like 5 to 6 content sequence ads, content sequence videos, they're kind of warmed up again to get into the sales process. So we run a direct response ad, which we have already built for you. Those same ads will be run for them again. And the goal is simple, it's just to get them back on a call so that they just get closed on that very call now. And now that was the entire system. If you're interested, then we would help you book 30 qualified demos per week within 60 days by auditing your current funnel, replacing your sales motion with a high ACV offer, supported by concierge onboarding that we will help you build, and running a self qualifying back-end selling system behind it. If we don't deliver you these results within 60 days, then we will continue working with you for free for the next 60 days. And even after that, it doesn't happen, then you'll just get our money back. That's all. So if that's of interest, then just book a call with me. Click on my profile or just type it's growable.com, and we will go through your current funnel. We will run the math and we will see if it's a fit. So that was everything. I have more case study videos coming up, which you'll see soon.